I picked up this sign, I believe from Michael's for around $7, and I'm going to cover the frame part of it in this apricot, like bright orange color. So I just tape off the inside here, and then I'm going to paint this trim. Now, you can get one of those signs from Dollar Tree now in their Dollar Tree Plus section and just make it over as well. I also have this little watering can that I picked up at the 99-cent store, but you can find these all over the place. Dollar General has them too. So I'm going to drill 2 holes into the watering can, because the best way to hang it onto the sign will just be to zip tie it to the sign. And so here is where I'm going to now mark the 2 holes. So when you put the holes into the can itself, it doesn't really matter where you put them. It just matters where you put them on the board. So I will go ahead and punch these 2 holes through. Now I'm not going to add this to the sign yet, but I wanted to make sure that I had this placement ready to go for when I am ready. Okay, so I went into Cricut Design Space and I found this one. It says, "Welcome to our home." I really wanted to make the sign really bright, really fun, really welcoming. And so I made this for this can here. I swear I measured it so that it would only be like a certain amount of inches, but for whatever reason, Cricut reverted to the original size. So this is actually pretty big. I would have gone a little bit smaller, but actually really like how big and bold it is. So again, got a little bigger. So again, what I'm doing here is making I wanted something that when I walked up to my front porch, it was just like, hello summer, hello brightness, hello fun. I just really thought that that's what I wanted. Also, this video is also about putting my house on the market. So I'm making some outdoor projects to just really make it inviting. And you know, if you're going to buy a house and you saw something bright and colorful outside and you were just like, oh, you know, it'll give you a feeling of happiness and like this is your home. So that's the goal here. So throughout this video, you are going to see a couple projects that I've done for my yard just to brighten it up. And do that. Okay, so I went into Cricut Design Space again. I have this Hey There Sunshine. It has some flowers. And I only measured the sunshine letters. I didn't measure it width. Okay, I only measured it in length. So my Hey There and my flowers are way too wide. So that's okay. We're going to go back and we're going to recut the Hey There. But meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and put the sunshine down. Now you see there, I have it in 2 sections. I have the second part of the sunshine and the first part. And that's because I only have a 24-inch mat and I can only fit 4 letters on that. So the way I do that is I go into Cricut Design Space and I go to layers and I turn off 4 of the letters and cut it. And then I go back and turn back on those letters and turn off the ones I've already cut. So that is how I get it so that I can cut something that's really long. So with those flowers, I can't go back and cut those because you can see there that it goes into the N and the E there at the bottom. So what I do is I just cut down, I cut out one of the flowers from what I've already cut so that I can make it fit. I thought about, I'll just leave the flowers off, but then it makes that N and the E funky. So, you know, this is what I do. You know, sometimes I mess things up, but it's okay because I can fix them. I will say that getting my house ready to sell has been majorly overwhelming and my brain is just not working. The amount of mistakes I've been making and forgetting things is just, brain is on overload. So I have to just laugh at myself and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. But you move forward and you can fix the mistakes. It's rare that I have to completely scrap a project because I've made such bad mistakes. So I was totally able to save this one and just move forward. So yes, I did, you know, quote unquote waste some vinyl. But here you see, this is the flower that I cut out of what I already had. And just using my X-Acto knife there, I just cut it to the edges. So see, it kind of just goes off to the edge. And then I cut this part to kind of match. And now we have a little flower. So nobody's the wiser but you and me. We're the only two that know that there was more flowers in this, so that's all right. And then I went back in and just cut out the hay there, and I cut it as big as I could to fit right here. And I still have that other larger hay there, and I'm going to keep it because at some point I can make another sign and use it, and it will not go to waste. Okay, so now it's time to zip tie this down onto our sign. So I will just feed through this zip tie. Now I wish I would have put my hay there and my sun, you know, a little higher, because now I have kind of like this empty space right there, and that kind of bugs me. And a friend of mine actually said, why don't you put an actual little like sunshine right there? And so I may go back and do that. But at this point, I have had this up. I made this a couple weeks ago, and it's been on my porch, and it makes me so happy. Okay, so another vision I had was that this watering can would be spilling out ribbon, like blue ribbon, like it was water. But then I decided, let's have it spilling out a rainbow. So I'm just using this really tiny wide ribbon, and there was enough where each color of the rainbow would have 4 holes. So I just poke it through. I'm just using my Cricut tool, but any pokey tool will work. I'm just poking it far enough in that it'll stay, and then over the top of that I'm just going to put a little dab of hot glue, and then that should keep it in there. Now if anyone were to like yank on this, there's a good chance like they would fall out, just because hot glue and metal don't always mix, but as long as nobody's like tugging on them, they're fine. So I go ahead and I do this with all the colors. Now purple is my favorite color, so I am a little bit sad that there's no purple in this project, because you know that is one of the colors of the rainbow, but we only had room for 5 colors, so that is what we went with. Now I've had these ribbons in my stash probably 20 years. I think it's a great thing to have in your stash because they're really cheap and you just have every color. So I went into my florals, and I was just like, I'm gonna grab one of each color. I don't have green flowers, so went with some greenery. I'm just gonna take the floral foam here, and I'm gonna glue the bottom of that and then glue it down into the watering can. And this is how it looks. And then I decided I didn't love that black and white flower, so I took my Posca paint pens, and we have 5 petals to this flower. So guess what I'm doing? I'm making a rainbow flower. So you could do whatever you like. Leave it. You could just do all yellow, make it, you know, like a yellow daisy. But this is what I chose to do. I'm such a rainbow girl. I've always loved rainbow. In my new house, which I don't have a new house yet, but when I do, my craft room theme is going to be rainbow, and I'm already have all sorts of ideas of what I'm going to do with the walls and just make it bright and fun and cheery. I just don't know how you can be sad when there is rainbows. And then this project is complete. Okay, I got these instructions from Do It on a Dime, and I will link that down below. But you make this with PVC pipe. So this is going to be a pool rack for by my pool. I've had this to do for like 5 years, and I've had the PVC cut to put together for 2 years. I'm finally getting around to it for like our last time at the pool. So this is what it looks like put together. It took me about 40 minutes to put it together, so it was really, really easy. And then I took some turquoise spray paint, and I spray painted it all. And then I'm going to take 3 buckets from the Dollar Tree, and here they are. I take the little shovels off, and it's easy to do. You just pop off one of the sides here. And then as you saw on that last screen, I cut out on my Cricut pool toys, goggles, sunscreen, and I did it in a fun like holographic vinyl that I had. And then these will hang from the top of that pool rack. And this makes it so easy. Okay, first off, let me just show you. You can put it around using the handle like this, or you can zip tie it. I chose to zip tie it. I just prefer the look of it. It really doesn't matter. But this makes it so much easier for my daughter to keep track of her pool supplies. For the goggles, I don't find them all around the pool. Like when I say pick up, she knows exactly where to put them. And this is how it turned out. This is where you can hang your wet towels and just keep everything organized and looking great. Okay, there is this weird patch in the middle of my yard. It used to have a tree. I had the tree cut down, and that is what I was left with. So we tore everything out the best we could out of this little patch and added some bark to it. And then I'm taking some of these little fence pieces from Dollar Tree, and I am going to fence all the way around it. This was just kind of an odd space. Um, I don't know what its purpose was at one point, but a tree stump here. So I was going to make a little water feature, a little water, like a little bird bath. So I got these two pots from Walmart, and I thought this one was going to fit perfectly over that tree stump, and then I was going to put the other one going the other direction, but I gave up on that. That wasn't going to happen. But that was the original plan, that look right there. So I just go with putting just one pot there. And then I'm using this little solar fountain I got off Amazon. I will link it below. And then just taking some little styrofoam pieces from some packing, I'm going to put these underneath some flowers. And you do want to cut those stems shorter, much shorter. And then when you put them in the water, they will float. So we have this kind of cute little flowers floating in our little bird bath. And then look at this, a hummingbird came and started to take a bath. I was so excited. But you can see there that water is shooting out. Okay, so ended up shooting way too much water out of my little feature there. So I have to go and change the head. It came with a bunch of heads so that my water doesn't shoot up as high. But I just added a little bit of a flower swag around it, and I have a cute little water feature now. And this really spruced up this little area in the yard. Again, it was a very random area, but I think this made it look much nicer. A couple years ago, I made these three projects to go into my backyard, and it is time to sprucing them back up because you can see here the flowers are old and gross now. And that's what I love, is that it's really easy to freshen these up for very inexpensive. So look at how dirty and gross this one has become. So all I do is take it off, and then I just add some new fresh flowers to it in a nice fresh ribbon, and it's like I don't even have to really do a whole lot. And the other ones, all I had to do was lay the flowers back in there, and this is how it looks. It's nice and refreshed, and as you can see, bright colors to really freshen up the area. This side of our house was very overgrown, so I did hire some people to really like clean it up. This is after they cleaned it up. And so I've got this little patch here. I used to have these like giant bushes. It like made everything dark and ugly. You can see how ugly all of this is. So I tore it out even more and got it nice and ready to plant these hydrangea. I am a black thumb, like I don't know what I'm doing. I followed the instructions, so hopefully they last. And now I have these beautiful pink hydrangea going along our front porch. This is the technical front porch. It's not how we get into the house, so we're not used to using it. So I need anyhow, I picked up this little like nightstand on Facebook Marketplace for $15, and my son used it for like a year or something, and it's just been sitting in the back of my garage. And I was like, I need to sprucing up this porch. So what should I do? And then all of a sudden I remembered I had this little piece of furniture in the back of my garage, so I brought it out. I cleaned it up. It had like marks and stuff on it, so I went ahead and sanded it down just a little bit, because it already has that like rusted look anyway, rustic. So then it had one drawer pull. That's it. One sad little drawer pull. So I was making lots and lots of trips to Home Depot, doing this yard work and whatnot. So I just grabbed four little knobs that all match and just put those right into this. Now, how I'm going to decorate this is in a garden theme. So I picked up this water can and this little birdhouse and this bird, all from the Walmart dollar section. Does your Walmart have that? You know, kind of like Target's dollar spot. Walmart has one too. And then I grabbed these little garden gloves from Dollar Tree, and we're just going to kind of shut them into the drawer so they're hanging out. And then I also got a couple more items from Dollar Tree. I just got this little plant bucket, and I'm going to put a shovel and a little hand rake in that. And then they had these floral swags with like oranges and limes on them, and so I go ahead and I put those inside. And I think this just made a fun little feature for the front porch. It was super, as you could see, it was super easy to do. It took me minutes and not very much expense, just buying a couple items that were between $1.25 and $3. And this is how it turned out, and I just think it is the cutest thing. And then I added some flowers here from Home Depot. Here on the other side, I picked a bright big pot of flowers. And then lastly, I got this little sign here from the 99-cent store, and using just a little command hook, I hung this on the front door. So this front porch, as you can see also, it went from having a horrible red trim and everything. We painted it all white, and we really brightened up this space. Here's another little space that I spruced up. You can see it's pretty bad. I asked the neighbors if maybe they would like to go halvesies on a fence, and they said no. So that was out of our budget. So what I did is I replaced some of the bamboo fencing. I just put bamboo fencing all around. It actually makes the backyard have like this, you know, tropical oasis feel, and it's something you can do all by yourself. It's very lightweight. It's very easy to use. You just roll it out onto your fence, and then using zip ties, you zip tie it into place, and that's it. It's very, very, very simple, and a more affordable way to update a fence if, you know, doing a whole full wood fence is out of your budget. And if you're wanting to also cover up a wood fence, then it's even easier because you just staple gun it right to the wood fence. So on this whole row of my like it's a chain link fence, and then another area it's wood. So it's like one neighbor was chain and one was wood. And as much as I've wanted to replace everything, you know, it just wasn't in the budget. Once I got everything zip tied in, then I go back and I cut all the zip ties off, and then I just kind of push that thicker part of your zip tie kind of back. I used clear. You can try to match your bamboo, but the clear ones look fine. And I just go all the way around, and look at how much better this looks. Is it the best? Absolutely, you know, no. But it looks 100 times better than it did before. And this is the side that had an ugly wood red fence, and this looks so much better too. I hope you enjoyed these outdoor DIYs, and until next time, happy crafting!